I'm not your baby.
Excuse me. Most men would have called you stuck up. Looking all like a Barbie doll.
That was it. The moment that changed my motherfucking life.
Yo, party people, it's Ashley of SingleWomanChronicles.com, where being single is a beautiful choice rather than a miserable circumstance. And welcome to another edition of Self-Worth and Cinema. And today I'm going to cover one of my favorite movies of all time, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Let me tell you what's crazy. I wasn't even going to do this movie because I'm like, it's obvious that Brandy was crazy. Like, what do we need to talk about? But Tubi had it on TV, and I told y'all this is one of my favorite movies. So I said, let me go ahead and watch it. No intent on doing this as a Self-Worth and Cinema, because again, Brandy's crazy. Like, what do we need to talk about? But y'all, when I watched it, I said, oh no, I would be remiss if I do not do this movie because it is so many things in this movie, honey. So let's get into Self-Worth and Cinema, featuring A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Okay, y'all, first of all, I'm going to cover each character differently. So I'm going to cover Mia, Brandy, and Darnell, who is played by Martin. Mia, who is played by Regina King, and Brandy, who is played by, I cannot remember that woman's name right now, but she's a wonderful actress. Y'all know her. I don't know why I can't think of her name right now. But anyway, so, oh, Jesus. So let's start with Darnell. Darnell was horrible. Darnell is what we can call a dog.
You know what you are? And I didn't think so. You're a dog.
He is the worst type of man you ever want to meet. Darnell is the man that your mama warned you about. Honey, this man will lie to get in them draws. He will manipulate. This man was so manipulative. Like, y'all, it was crazy how every woman, he adopted a strategy to get what he needed out of her. And that was everybody except for Mia, because he actually cared about Mia. But everybody else he lied to, he adopted. Like, it opens up with him going to visit all his women. So you have the young lady in the laundromat. He was saying, you know, he kissed her out of nowhere because he knew, he was like, oh, I'm trying to open her freak up because he's trying to have sex with her. And then you go to the hair salon. He has had sex with this girl already. And he's telling her, like, after the sex, like, hey, you know, don't be trying to lock me down. Like, we ain't nothing like that. And, you know, he goes and sees her. Then he goes to the chick with kids and he's massaging her feet and doing whatever. And just like, he is adjusting everything, his strategy to meet women. So women, beware of men like this. He is not a narcissist. He's not one. And I say he's not a narcissist because he has the ability to feel, because he fell in love with Mia. He has the ability to understand and acknowledge when he is wrong, but he still chooses to do it anyway. People who are narcissists, they have no remorse. They literally don't care. They really don't have the self-awareness needed to, like, adjust and improve, because it's like all about them. But Darnell was not a narcissist. He was just a dog. Like, he was just a player. He was just, and those are the only words I can think of, because there's like, no, he's an F-boy. That's what a new age word would be. He's an F-boy. He is just what we call, if you look up F-boy in the dictionary, Darnell's face would be right next to it, because he literally is a chameleon. He becomes whatever he needs to be in order to get what he wants from that woman. And usually it is sex. And that's it, right? So then he meets Brandy, this beautiful rich woman, and she's a challenge. And so he becomes this extra part of himself, this extra version of himself that he's like going out of his way to. He gave her the car, like the the flyer for VIP. Then he chased her freaking down by going to write down her license plate number, found her job, went to her job. She called security on him. He still didn't get up. Then give up. The next week, he went and tried to go to he went to an open house of hers just to show up with like this crystal baby bird that he called it because he almost broke her baby bird at the office. And that's how he gets her. He does all of this stuff to chase this woman down. Do y'all understand? He chased this woman just to play her, really just to have sex with her because they made a bet. Literally, I forgot Bobby Brown's character's name, but Bobby Brown dared him he made a bet that he wouldn't be able to have sex with her. He would have to tell her he loved her, in which he actually lost the bet because he did have to tell her he loved her, but he's still gonna act like he didn't lose that bet, and that's what pissed me off. But so yeah, Darnell was just awful. Darnell listen, y'all, this is what love bombing looks like. I want y'all to understand. What Darnell did in that movie, that is what love bombing looks like. When someone throws everything at you in the beginning at once at a very fast pace, they're not trying to slow down. They're on you, they're on you, they're on you, and it makes you uncomfortable. That's what love bombing looks like. The reason I know Brandy was uncomfortable was because when you see that scene where they're in the freaking woods, first of all, they're in the woods and she's trying to show him how to get on a horse. And he's trying to have sex with her in the woods. Like, be for real. Be for real. You trying to have sex with me in the woods, Darnell? Darnell, for real? So that's what love bombing looks like. That's how you can tell if it's genuine. That's one of the ways to tell if it's genuine or love bombing, when there's a pressure you feel. Because Brandy felt uncomfortable. She literally had to talk herself into having sex with him because something was off. She didn't listen to her intuition though, but she knew something was off. That's why she was like, no, I don't want to do this. Whatever, but of course he flipped it because he's manipulative. He's really good at what he's doing. But that is what love bombing looks like, y'all. So pay attention. If you got somebody coming at you heavy, and it's so heavy that like you enjoy the attention, you enjoy what they're doing, but at the same time, something about it feels uncomfortable. Something about it feels like pressure. It is. Watch for it. That's love bombing. All right, so let's go and get into Mia. Okay. No, I don't want to get into Mia. I want to end with Mia because, yeah, I'm right. Mia, I thought I said Brandy. Y'all, I'm old, so y'all just bear with me. So, Mia. Y'all, why I can't get these names right? So, Mia played by Regina King. So, she is Darnell's, like, this girl he grew up with. She's the woman that I feel like he always knew he would end up with because even at the beginning of the movie, he said, Mia, are you going to wait for me? And so that was kind of implying like, I need you to wait for me because when it's time, I'm going to wife you. Let me tell you why I love me some Mia, and let me tell you why when we talk about self-worth, Mia is very high on the self-worth meter, okay? So anybody who's just started listening to Self-Worth and Cinema, self-worth is how you measure your value in comparison to other people. How do you see your self-image? When you look in the mirror, do you feel like you're all that in a bag of chips, or do you feel like somebody stepped on said chips, right? And I say self-worth is like a bank account. Either you got like $100, you got $50, you got $20, or you're in the negative. And every day we're getting debits or credits to our self-worth account. A credit to our account if someone gives us a compliment, something like that. You know, we get a new job, we're excited about it. A debit to our account is if we go through a breakup, someone leaves us, we get insulted at work, you know, stuff like that. So we get debits or credits. So the goal is always to have 80% in your self-worth account because every single day you're going to be dwindling, right? Every day you're not going to feel amazing. Some days you're going to feel like me, but you always want to have a stable account. You don't want to dwindle low like in 20%. You don't want to go negative. You don't want to have less than $0 in your self-worth account because you really can. Like you literally can. Because Brandy had maybe like $30. And the only reason she had $30 was because she was successful and she was rich. But other than that, on an emotional level, on a mental level, on a self-image level, that thing was kind of low. So let's go back to Mia. I'm hoping I'm saying these names right, y'all, because I keep getting mixed up. But hopefully y'all follow what I'm saying. So Mia had a very high self-worth account. Baby was sitting on 100. And let me tell you why I know Mia was sitting on 100. Mia's so player. Mia had Darnell come to her house, sit down with her, enjoy her company. Then she tells Darnell, oh, I'm about to go change clothes. Then she tells her, she gets a knock on her door. And it's another dude. That's player. That's how you know your self-worth account is booming, baby. Because you don't care. You don't care about the male gaze. You don't care about people pleasing. You don't care if you impress Darnell or not. You minding your good business. You doing your thug dizzle. You not falling for the games. You out here. You is like, baby, I'm going to live my life. You going to have these two men. Because not only would someone who lacks self-worth be worried about what Darnell thinks, they'll be worried about what the other guy thinks too. Because when you're low in self-worth, you're so, what am I trying to say? You're always trying, not necessarily people pleasing, you're always trying to gain approval. That's what I'm looking for. You're always looking for approval. You don't want nobody to see any type of flaw in you. So if another guy open the door, you don't want the guy open the door to think you like, oh, she loose because she got another guy here, and you don't want, you know what I mean? Y'all feel me? So baby don't care about none of that, because she's like, I'm a woman. I don't care what you think about me. This is what it is. Y'all, I know I'm classy. That's all that matters, right? And even when Darnell questioned her about like why she was going back into the Air Force, she was like, I'm not going back to no Air Force for no man. I'm doing this because this is what I want to do. So she was very strong in self-worth. And some may say, well, if she was strong in self-worth, why would she pick Darnell as a partner? Well, you have to understand that she knew Darnell. She even said, because he asked her when they were sitting down one day, like, he asked her, could I have been your man back in the day? And she said, if you were ready. So she acknowledged that, I know back in the day, baby, you were not ready. But right now, if you're saying that you're ready, I'm going to give you a chance. See, the thing about people who are high in self-worth, they understand the risk they are taking. Mia understood the risk she was taking by dating Darnell, but she knew she was resilient enough to bounce back if anything happened. She knew, like, you know what, I'm taking a risk. He's saying he's ready. I trust him because we friends first. I don't believe that he would lie to me, because he had never lied to Mia. He had never, like, given her a reason. He was always upfront with her. So he had never given her a reason not to, like, trust his word if, like, he said he was telling the truth. So at the time he was. Other thing I want y'all to acknowledge in this. So there's this thing where, like, people say stuff like, oh, a man will get ready for the right woman. I always disagree with this fact, because even in this instance, he did not get ready for just the right woman. He also got ready because he was ready. A man needs to be ready. It has it has something to do with the woman, but at the same time, it has more to do with the readiness. Darnell became ready. I don't know why he became ready. I think a lot of it had to do with, like, him elevating his career, because, you know, he was about to go in partnership with the club owner. But he was ready. He was ready, and he just felt like, okay, this is time. Mia's going back. I want to do this right. And he cut everybody off. That's how I know he's not a narcissist, because he knew exactly what he was doing. But he was just a liar, manipulator, and he was a F-boy, but not a narcissist. So, and he actually loved. He was able to love. Most narcissists are not able to genuinely love someone. And I know he loved Mia just because of how selfless he was when he was with Mia. Even when Brandy threatened Mia, instead of continuing to date Mia and put her in harm's way, he was like, no, I'm going to dump her because I know I don't want her to get hurt. Like, I love this woman. You know what I mean? Even if it hurts me, I'm going to just let her go. So that's how I know, you know, men, one, it's not necessarily they're going to get ready for the right woman. So if a guy walked out on you and then later on down the line you saw him get married to somebody else, and you always wonder, like, dang, maybe I suck, whatever. One, never question yourself. Two, many times it has nothing to do with you as a woman. It has a lot to do with his readiness as a man. A lot of men, when they get ready for marriage, they don't marry the best option. They marry the most convenient option at the time that they'll get ready. That's just what I've seen. Okay. Before I keep going, I just want to ask you a question. Have you liked this video? Have you commented under this video? Have you shared this video with somebody? Well, you need to do that, because we're having a good time, right? Right? You're having a good time. Go ahead and like, share, comment. Okay, and subscribe. Make sure y'all subscribe. Rate me 5 stars on all the platforms, please and thank you. I'm trying to rise up in 2024. By the end of 2023. Rise up, okay? All right. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty, Miss Brandy, honey. So what's funny is, self-worth gets this generic rap, right? People think self-worth has a look, but it doesn't. Self-love doesn't have a look. Self-esteem doesn't have a look. Brandy looked amazing. She was rich. She was successful. You would think she would be the most confident woman in the world, but she was not. She was not, just not because she was off. She was a little crazy. I don't know what kind of psychological imbalance she had, but also because you can tell there was some trauma there, and she questioned herself a lot. And I know she questioned herself because if we get to the part where her and Darnell was about to have sex, she was talking to him like a little girl, needing approval for something, needing validation, because she was sitting there and she was just like, hey, I want to know if we move forward, how are you going to treat me? Because and then she started crying, because you got to think about it. Like, she was so strong in her stance until Darnell pulled away. You can tell a lot about someone's self-worth by what they do when a man pulls away from them.
What are you doing here, Brandy?
Good morning. Darnell, you scared me.
What do you mean I scared you? What are you doing, Brandy?
Well, I made you some bacon, and I was making pancakes, but then I realized I didn't know whether you liked them dark, light, or fluffy.
You didn't know if I like them.
When Darnell pulled away from Brandy, she became weak. And she became weak emotionally because she felt like, oh my God, I'm about to lose him. What can I do to keep him? That's never a place you want to be in. You always want to make decisions, especially decisions with your body. When you about to have sex with someone, you never want to give your body away because someone is about to leave you. You want to do it out of a sound mind. That's not a sound mind. When you about to give sex to somebody because they're about to walk away from you, or you got to sit down on a couch and ask them to say, do you love me, before you have sex? Because in that moment, a lot of folks gonna lie and say yes. And she's teary-eyed, she's crying, and he's such a dog that he don't even stop himself. And a lot of me feels like he deserved 90% of what he got. But it's just like, there's a special place in hell for men like that, because he really loved Bummer, chased her down, did all this stuff, lied to her, told her he loved her. But just her meekness, how she went. And when I say weak, I don't mean like she's a weak person. I mean like when you you lose your confidence, you lose your worth. When you lose that certainty, that like power, when a man pulls away, that's how you know, like, maybe my self-worth ain't where it needs to be. So she kind of cowered like a kid looking for approval. And then after the sex, of course, he pulled away even more. He really did some dog stuff. On that girl birthday, this man got her limo out at another chick's house. Woo! Yeah, I probably would have stabbed the cake and dropped it off too. And I'm high in self-worth and I'm high in sanity. But that was some dog stuff that he did. Special place in hell for men like that. But another sign of low self-worth is lashing out at others. Your inability to stabilize your emotions. When you have low self-worth, you're not able to self-regulate very well. So you emotionally regulate by lashing out. So you cussing folks out. You busting windows, you flattening tires, you pulling up at the man mama house, you stalking the girl, you stalking him. Like, it's just a lot. So she had a lot of signs of low self-worth. Even though she was rich, the only reason I say she had maybe $20 in there, $30, I'd probably say 20, was because she wasn't all the way gone, because she was still able to maintain work and life. She didn't completely dwindle because she was a successful woman. But at the same time, I feel like 80% of her was just so broken from past relationships. And she had already killed a guy before. So that's just a lot. But I think that has to do with the other disorder that she got. But in the end, again, I agree with about, because I've never been the girl who's busted windows out of a car. I've never been the girl who's, flat and tight, nothing. I've never done anything. The worst I've done to a guy after he left or we ended was cuss him out. That's it. Because I always felt that the best revenge was living well, right? But sometimes I wish I could be that girl who can go and do all that stuff. Because sometimes I be feeling like, listen, what Jasmine Sullivan say? I bust the windows out your car. It didn't mend my broken heart. But at the same time, I'm glad I did it. I be wishing. Because it's like, okay, you broke my heart, so I'm going to break your car. I get it. So he broke her heart. So she's like, I'm going to torment this man. Things I did not agree with. Okay. So I agree with most of the stuff. Things I did not agree with was her beating herself up and sending that man to jail. And also what else? Her showing up to his apartment. How did she get into his apartment to cook lighter, fluffy pancakes? I always wonder that. And then 3, what else? I didn't agree with her trying to kill him. Like, that was a lot. Burning down the club or trying to kill him. She went too far. She really could have stopped. I think she should have stopped after she faked the hospital thing. That was just a lot. But like the busting of the windows, the flattening of the tires, the pulling up at his mama house, the trying to run that man over kind of when he got his dry cleaning. I understand those things. But the other things, I was like, all right, sis, you went a little too far. But yes, I really thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I think you can learn a lot from this movie on love bombing, on self-worth, on both sides. How Mia stood in her self-worth and how Brandy did not. So I think it was a great movie. I'm so happy that I decided to watch it and got the revelation like, girl, this is a great movie to do this on. So yeah. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Do y'all agree with Brandy? Do y'all feel like she went too far? Do y'all think he deserved all that? Let me know. And get your worth it tees. The link in the bio. Get your worth it tees. But until next time, bye.